Hello again everyone, it's Tom aka 204 Underground. Today what we're going to be doing is creating an Alvin Risk style lead sound like the one heard at the beginning of the drop in the song Put 'Em Up. So the synth sound will sound something like this when we're finished. And then after the synth is finished, I'll go over the notes used in the melody that I made. And the sound isn't exactly the same as the original, but it's close enough that with some tweaking it should sound almost identical. And this is the synth sound requested by one of my subscribers, so thanks for requesting the sound, and feel free to comment with any questions that you may have. So, just a quick overview of the sound. It consists of 3 multi-oscillators to give it a nice detuned sound, and then I added some pitch modulation using the mod envelope to achieve that bending effect. And then I just add some distortion to give it that overdriven sound like it has in the original, and then just polish it up with some EQ, reverb, and stereo imaging to finish off the synth. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin by creating a new combinator. And then inside the combinator, place a line mixer 6:2, followed by a Thor, which you're going to right-click, a Thor inside the combinator, which you're going to right-click and reset it, or initialize it, depends on which version of Reason you have. And then all we're going to do to this is turn on mono legato, and then open it up. So what we're going to do is now create the 3 multi-oscillators by clicking this drop-down menu here. And then on the first one, turn it to a square wave and leave it on random 1 detune, and then keep the octave at 4 and turn this detune amount up to around 37, and then turn this tune knob up to about 7. And then for the second oscillator, we are going to keep it on the saw wave, move the octave up to 5, leave it on random 1 detune, and move the detune amount up to 34. And then we're going to turn this tune amount right here up to 12. Now let's move on to the third and final oscillator, and all we're going to do to this oscillator is change it to random 2 with this drop down arrow here, and then we're going to add some variety due to that fact right there, and then we're going to detune it to amount of 32 and put this around just a little bit like 2 right there. Okay, so make sure to send all 3 oscillators through to filter 1, and once we write filter 1, let's go ahead and turn the drive up to 76, around 76, to add some bite to the sound. It'll give a little bit of distortion. All you're going to do here is turn the filter frequency all the way up. So now let's go ahead and balance off these oscillators a little bit. Turn this amount up to around 76 so we can hear a little bit of this higher one. And that's all we're going to do there. So now let's go ahead and move on to the shaper. Turn it on, turn it to hard clip mode, and bring the drive up to amount of 42. Now we're done with the oscillator section. Now let's go ahead and give it that pitch bend effect that you hear in the song. So you can start by doing that in the modulation bus routing section in Thor and assigning the mod envelope to all 3 oscillators like this. And then assign this to the pitch of oscillators 1, 2, and 3. And then all we're going to do there is give it an amount of 47. And make sure to do the same amount for all these so the synth does not bend out of tune. So now we're going to tweak this a little bit further. Go to the mod envelope, make sure it's gate and tempo synced, turn the release all the way down, and turn the decay to 4/4. So now, if we copy over the notes, the synth should sound something like this. Alright, so now let's go back to the Thor, and to finish it off, all we're going to do is add a little bit of chorus. Bring the drive weight down to around 2018, will be fine. We'll just run with that. And then, now that we're done with the Thor, we can go ahead and close it up. Add a unison unit, Studio Effects, UN16 unison, and turn the detune and dry wet up to around 50. So now we're going to go ahead and add some distortion to give it that overdriven harsh sound like it has in the original. So next, create a Scream 4. Turn it to warp mode. Turn the damage at 41, so break it down a little. Put the P1 where it is, just go ahead and keep it there. And put the parameter 2, or P2, at 108. Next, let's go ahead and move on to the cut EQ section. Put the lows at 10, where they are right now. Move the mids to -5. -4 will be fine, and put the highs at 0. Now let's finally move on to the body section. Keep the resonance all the way down, turn the scale all the way up, leave the auto all the way down, and just leave it on type B. So now with this first scream done, we're going to go ahead and add some bit crushing with another scream 4. So right click, create a scream 4. You can actually initialize it if you want. Turn it to digital mode, turn P1 and P2 all the way up, damage all the way down for now, and the master all the way up. Now what we're going to do with this is put the damage to 21. Now with auto distortion out of the way, all we have to do is add EQ to sculpt the sound, and then add some reverb and stereo imaging to polish it up. So let's go ahead and create an EQ. Now what we're going to do here is turn the low cut on, turn the low shelf on, turn the frequency all the way up, and the gain to about 2 decibels, and the Q at 0.65 will be fine. Now we're going to move on to param 1 to remove some of the harshness of the sound. So put it at 13,000, around 13,000, there it is. Take the gain down to 8.6, and the Q at 11. Alright, so with that parameter out of the way, now let's go ahead and move on to param 2. We're going to put the frequency at 7,500, so relatively high. And then we're going to go ahead and put the gain down to -2 decibels. And then just widen this Q up a little bit to about 3.9. Now let's move on to the high shelf. Just remove a little bit, about that much, and then put the gain all the way up. So we're just scooping out a tiny bit of these high frequencies. Now let's go ahead and add that reverb. So right click and create a RV7000 advanced reverb. Leave it on the all worm plate setting, or if you have it initialized, you can just put it on that setting. And then turn the decay up to 73, or down to 73, I should say. And then put the dry wet at 14. So the plate reverb helps synth fit in the mix a little better and makes the sound just overall better, I guess. Anyway, finally, move on and put a stereo imager. Move this crossover frequency down to 134. We'll just leave it there. And then we'll move back a little bit of mono right here. So all these frequencies below whatever this is set to will be made mono. And the high frequencies we're going to put up to 30 because the sound in the original is rather wide. So now with the synth sound out of the way, let's go ahead and look at those notes. So if your finished synth should sound something like this. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the notes. So these aren't exactly the same as the notes in the original, but they're close enough to give you the same type of sound. So as we can see, the first one is a C#4 that lasts most of the first beat, and then it cuts off right here. And then for the second beat, we have the same note, but it does a stuttering pattern, which can be achieved by adding 4 16th notes right here, turning this snap off, and extending the end just slightly. Just make sure to turn snap back on so you don't end up with problems later. Then, at the start of the third beat, right here, it goes down to a B3 for a quarter note, and then back up to C4, and then back down to this B3 for the remainder of the beat. And then just to finish off the riff, we have this C4. Alright, so that should be the completed sound. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any ideas on how to make this more insightful for you, or have a request for a synth sound, or just questions about different parts of music production, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And I should be doing more tutorials over the next few weeks because I now have several weeks off, so hopefully I'll be able to make this a weekly thing. So anyway, rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my Facebook and SoundCloud for more songs and tutorials. So thanks for watching, and good luck with music. 204 Underground out.